18-point lead. Well, George Cousins, I hate when that happens, but the Sonics pull away. Payton to a streaking Sean Kemp. He had 18, and between Payton and Kemp, Seattle wins it 100-90. And Payton, since taking 400 shots, says he'll never play for the Mavericks and plans to return to Ohio State and make himself available for the 1993 NBA draft. Dallas's top pick was insulted by a 4-year contract offer made by team owner Donald Carter. Mavs GM Norm Sanju told ESPN Friday night he understands the frustration of Jackson and hopes after conferring with Carter that Jackson will accept a 6-year deal worth $19 million with $2.6 million paid in full at the sign.
The Los Angeles Clippers came into Friday's game squaring off. They were former mates on the 68 ABA New Orleans Buccaneers. That's Larry Brown shooting the 3 that way. Here's how they do it in the 90s. Jeff Hornacek with the exhibition. Then Hornacek continued to show how it's done. Hornacek with 21 points in the first half. Clippers, Danny Manning behind the back here. Nice play to Philly native Randy Woods, who finds Harper for the lay-in. More Clippers, though, in the third. Mark Jackson, the spin and the dish to Manning for the J. Jackson with 10 assists, only 1 turnover. Hornacek pulls the Sixers back. The tough ball away goes. Sixers within 7. But Gary Grant comes up with the long pass to Harper for the easy 2. The look of disgust by Doug Moe as the Sixers sink again. Moe calling his team's performance on defense one of the all-time worst. Hornacek and Jackson didn't have any complaints, though. They come on, made his presence felt. He does that a lot. The block on Pippen. 5 blocks in the game for Hakeem. Then in the second, Pippen makes the bullet pass to Grant, who dunks it. Rockets still led by 2 at the half.
Right,
second half, Hakeem unstoppable.
Set up one
the
thing here.
Jay on the baseline over Mr.
And
Bill.
live.
Hakeem likes that spot so much, he did it again. Over Horace Grant and Scotty Williams this time. And yes, the same spot. This time over Stacey King. Hakeem with 28 points. Rockets led by 15. The Bulls come back, though. Who else leads a comeback? This guy, Michael. Bulls cut the lead to 5, but the Rockets were just too much. The ball will end up in Robert Horry's hands. The huge jam over Stacey King. The Rockets
of course.
away.
That's
Chicago
what we're going to do. Okay, let's see here.
Something's
off here about this.
Houston points. It was the Bulls'
Trying to
6th
get
loss
YouTube
at home.
involved,
Last
and
year,
it's
that
just
didn't
a
happen
little
until January 28th. The Cavs, they had Mark Price back in their game in Auburn Hills, and Price looked good early. Looked like his hip pointer had healed. He drains the 3. He had 12 points. But Price would miss the 4th because he re-aggravated the injury. Joe Dumars leading the Pistons off the dribble, and then the 3.
It really happened.
Dumars had 28. Then it was Joe doing his stuff on defense, the steal off of Price. And
really happened. All right, let's just figure out how this works, and then we are going to play the Spurs in Bulls versus Blazers.
Check out Danny Young, the half-court shot at the buzzer goes. Pistons go on to win this one, 107-103. Rebound man, Dennis Rodman, 21 boards. The 7th, Chris Jackson finds Reggie Williams, who pulls up and hits the J. Williams led Denver with 27. For the Hawks, Travis Mays was the man from outside. He had 19. He was 7 for 9 from the field. More Denver. It looked like the game was theirs in regulation. Williams finds Mutombo, who puts the nice moves on Rasmussen and scores. Mutombo had 12 points.
Mutombo, just go to work.
Moved to OT, where the Hawks
all right, let's watch the rest of these. Dominique Wilkins with the jam.
33. Hawkins win this one in OT. It's the 11th time. This
reunion arena.
All right, good stuff. Lakers, Mavs are going to have to wait. Oop, what's this? This is this thing here. This is this thing. All right. I need my gray back here. This is a little sausage. This is how we do this. We got to have the little thing in the middle. And all right, so to complete this challenge, I need to get to the Western Conference semifinals. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, all right, so here we go. So I already got the win in game 1 versus the Spurs. So we just got to handle business here. Here's the thing. Check part 1 of this if you want my takes on this game. I'm not going to repeat myself a zillion times. I'm just going to turn this down. I'm just going to listen to this new Zach Lowe podcast. I'm fired up to have Zach Lowe back in the mix. Been a big fan of his. Met him. He's the man. Let's hear what his new podcast sounds like. We're just going to listen.
America's #1 sportsbook is the best place to bet on the NBA because not only does FanDuel have all your favorite player props, but now you can even check out stats and recent performance trends right at the conference, the awards races, and much more. Then Anthony Slater from The Athletic on the Warriors and a crazy Rockets-Warriors game full of trash talk and spice last night.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Zach Lowe Show. I guess that's what we're calling it now. I kind of like the old name. I came up with the old name. But the only constant in life is change, and so we move on. And as we move on, it is time, for the first time in a very long time, to say the 3 most anticipated words in niche.
Oh my God, I'm trying to jump the gun here.
Everybody, what up, Beck? Howard Beck of the Ringer/Spotify. How are you?
Zach Lowe! What the hell are you?
What? The
God
Zach
damn,
Lowe
this is
Show?
awesome.
What's happening? There's a sign?
You have a sign. They were
Oh.
quick at Spotify.
Oh, you
I
missed
don't have
it.
any signs. You got a sign. That's awesome. I love the sign. I think we all love the old name. The new name is fine. It forces you to say your own name every time you open a show, which I know you love that. You love attention. You love attention so much that you actually warned me before we started recording not to say the thing that I'm about to say, which is, welcome the fuck back. My God, it has been way too long. The people missed you. It's my responsibility, and honored to be the first guest, my responsibility as your friend, as a man of the people, as someone who spends way too much time on social media, more than you do. The people missed you. The people are very happy you're back. You didn't want me to say it, but I'm saying it anyway. I'm thrilled you're back. We're all thrilled you're back. This is awesome. By the way, I've already cursed at least 3 times.
Fake.
We can do that
And
here.
then the jam.
Disney censors killing our F-bombs. So I can now set a new record. I once had the record. I believe I had the F-bomb record on the low course, which I believe Gino Auriemma or somebody like obliterated at some point. And you got
Tarasi shirt on today. Got my Tarasi shirt on today, baby. Paige Becker's in the group did it last night. All right, enough out of you, Howard. Okay?
Benjamin! Oh! This
This
game's kind of fun.
you got a lot of catching up.
It might not be top 100,
You
but
had
it's
a lot
pretty
of
fun.
catching up on Bill's pod last week. That was awesome. 2 hours of Zach just unloading after 6 months of pent-up takes. Tremendous.
You know how long I've been waiting to make fun of Matt Ishbia's 2016 with trade places with us comment again? I can't stop. The Suns just actively, you know what? Just shoot us, just get us out of our misery. We're done. We don't even want. Anyway, okay. So it was a wild weekend in the NBA, Howard, and we're gonna focus on the Western
Stop ball.
Conference because it's crazy.
Uh-oh.
You ready to go?
Left Avery.
Let's do it.
Clang. They just cannot make it from the
Oklahoma City
baseline.
has lost 2 consecutive games for the first time in a while. They got bullied by the Rockets on Friday, I think, and then the Lakers, in a really interesting win for the Lakers, at Oklahoma City, blew out the Thunder in a game you can either chalk up to shooting luck. The shot quality tracking data says the Thunder had the better shot quality overall, and it was just Lakers went crazy from 3. Thunder missed all 3s. Congratulations, you get no points and no wins for winning the shot quality battle. The Lakers won the game in a game that was playoff-like in the way that the Lakers approached it on offense, but Oklahoma City also has very little to play for other than health and.
You used to get called for charges in NBA Showdown. You get called for charges there.
In their last 17 games, they have something like a 99% chance, according to most models now, of clinching the number 2 seed. What an accomplishment for the Houston Rockets and Ime Udoka, who cemented that almost number 2 seed status with a rollicking, and I mean rollicking win at Golden State last night.
Too easy.
There was copious trash talk, including between Ime Udoka and Steph Curry. And after the game, I don't know if you saw this, Howard, I'm reading the Athletic story. This is Ime Udoka to the Athletic after the game on the little halftime as they were walking to the locker room, dust up between him and Steph. When people start complaining about foul calls or crying about physicality, crying. He didn't say whining, he said crying. You've done your job. Udoka told the Athletic when asked about the exchange. That's the first step in winning the battle. So I told my team, when this team starts crying about it, that's 2 cryings in 5 seconds. Up the intensity, up the aggressiveness, and make the refs adjust to you. Can we all agree, by the way, Draymond Green should have been ejected from that game, and if you were any other player, would have gotten ejected like 3
I need a foul here. I got to get some good guys in there.
I have questions. We can get back to the details of Draymond's game, but let me just say, I fucking love that he
Fucking
talks
Beck's
trash.
throwing heaters.
We have so far, like, we were so far removed from the era of coaches who trash talk and trash talk each other. We're so far removed from, like, Phil Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy calling each other stupid names and stuff. I love it. I want the coaches involved. I want
Here we go.
Udoka saying this.
Ah! Let's go.
We don't have rivalries anymore. We don't have enough tension anymore. Like, amp it up. Fine. Give me all of it. I love it.
Draymond, look, he might win Defensive Player of the Year.
The answer. Holy smokes.
He baited a ref into a technical, and he dared the ref to call him for a technical by elbowing Shingu in the face. Then he got a flagrant, which that was a strange play when he went up for a layup and elbowed Shingu in the face. I didn't quite know what to make of that. But just the fact that he's the only player who's allowed to clap in a ref's face like for 8 consecutive seconds and say whatever he wants and no one does anything about it, it's interesting. But
Yeah.
the other headline from that game, you know, Howard, I was going to come on today and say first team All-NBA. We've got 4 spots locked in, I think, between the 2 MVP candidates, favorites, Giannis and Tatum. That 5th spot has been rotating. It's been Donovan Mitchell's for most of the season. Then he's kind of had he had a
Fake
little
City.
bit of a trough relative to his exemplary standard. And the Cavs are only 6-6 in their last 12 games.
Yeah, this is what I was going for. I thought this would be pretty elite content.
You know, Anthony Edwards, maybe.
I think I was right.
Mobley, maybe. And I was going to come on this podcast today and say, hey, guys, what Steph Curry's been doing the last month or 2 of the season, and particularly in the last 3 or 4 games as the Warriors traipse through a gauntlet of teams. And then you know what happened to Steph Curry? And Amin Thompson announced himself not only as a first-team all-defense player, he made a big
Got to get out on Ricky
statement,
Pierce.
like, hey, first-team all-defense in this junior defensive player of the year race. Don't ignore me. I know I'm only a second-year guy. I don't have this great reputation or whatever yet. I'm not Draymond Green in terms of my historical importance in the game. But look what I can do. And he just blanketed Steph Curry and made plays as a help defender. Okay, that's the Rockets. We can get back to that. Ready to keep going?
Let's go.
Struggle.
Lakers have won 4 out of 5, including that Thunder win. They are now a 75% bet, according to most markets, to clinch the 3rd seed. That's a big deal for the Lakers. It's a great season for them. We will talk about them after, as we talk about Thunder Lakers. And then 5 teams 4 to 8, all have exactly 32 losses.
Paul Presti's still in the league.
4 of them have the exact same record at 46 and 32. And just to give you a sense of how powerful it is, take the Denver Nuggets. I'm using playoffstatus.com, which is a great site that has mathematical models about who's going to be where in the playoffs. The Nuggets right now have according to this website, Basketball Reference is similar, 4% chance at the 3rd seed, 15% chance at the 4th seed, 16% chance at the 5th seed, 22% chance at the 6th seed, 26% chance at the 7th seed. Play in. That's the highest number so far, 26%. 18% chance of the 8th seed. That's just like, what is even happening?
Damn.
Jamal Murray, Michael Malone said
and then
yesterday's game, hopefully he's back
Malone
the playoffs.
and
Becoming a weird one.
Calvin Booth fired.
Minnesota and the Clippers are both 14 and 3 in their last 17 games. Guess who has the 3rd best net rating in the Western Conference? Number 1 is the Thunder. Number 2 is the Rockets.
Yeah.
Do you know who has the 3rd for the whole season? Not just in the last 20 games.
The Clippers.
Also ranked the whole season.
Clippers are a contender.
The 3rd best net rating in the West.
Top of my head, I'm going to guess the Clippers.
The Los Angeles Clippers plus 4.8 per 100
This is a route.
possessions. They are plus 16 per 100 possessions with Kawhi, Powell, and Zubats on the floor, plus 167 and 460 minutes. Whoa, boy. The Wolves, I just mentioned, 14 and 3, trending well. They're the 4th best net rating in the West. The Warriors, 21 and 3 with Butler and Curry, lost last night. And then Memphis
Start putting
rounds
up some
out that
threes.
group. They've actually won their last
Start putting up
2
some
games.
threes just for fun.
Ja Morant got fined for making the shooting gun motion. Do we need to address that? I guess there was a lot of
Jumble.
of like, well, everybody does the it's called shooting. That's what people call it. It's 3-point shooting, and everybody does some. Tons of players do some version of a mimicking of like, whatever gun thing.
Michael King. What up, Camp? Just wrapping up my challenge. I ain't got much more to add here, so I'm just listening to Zach Lowe Pod.
You don't know why he's the only one getting punished? Like, really? That's hard to understand.
two things there actually that I thought made it clear why Jaw's being singled out. Yeah, of course he's being singled out. One is, his history and the fact that he was suspended twice for 2 instances of flashing what appeared to be actual guns on Instagram Live. So yes, the league is of course going to be more sensitive to you, just like there are certain guys in the league who are more likely to get rung up for flagrants and techs based on their behavior. Like, you have a track record. So that's one. The second is, it seemed to me, Zach, that when Ja did the two finger point gun thingies, it was directly at the Warriors bench, at Buddy Hield, at whoever. So instead of like the Mikal Bridges or other guys who like are shooting things in the air and they're like skeet shooting and they're I don't know, shooting flaming arrows.
Skeet shooting.
This wasn't like a celebration. This looked more threatening.
Skeet shooting, shout out. Track and field, shout out.
I haven't chased the league on this, but the fact that it was actually aimed at someone as a threat, plus his history, to me is probably why, yes, you get the fine. Also, you got the warning first, then you got the fine because you defied it and did it again. Like, at that point, you're asking for it. You're defying the league. You're flipping off the commissioner's office. Like, that's just not smart. And so I have, it's hard for me to hear anybody trying to defend it or making him out to be some sort of victim at this point.
Yeah, I have nothing more to say about it. It's just like,
yeah,
maybe just
Look,
don't would be my gentle advice.
Easy enough. Yeah, no guns, no fake guns, no real guns, no finger guns, just no guns. How about that?
So the rest,
Solid. That was sick.
like,
Oh, you can actually steal a pass
4, 5, 6, 7,
if you
8,
time
so
it with
have
the
to
A
go through
button.
play-in.
Ah!
Dallas and Sacramento are still right into that.
What up,
play-in.
Pete?
Sacramento, nice win last night against Cleveland.
Yeah, I pretty much already went over all there is to say about this game, so I'm just listening to Zach.
And it's just, it's so jumbled, and there are so many teams going in up and down and sideways, and the records are the same. The tiebreakers are all over the place. And you're tempted to say, well, it looks pretty open. Like, the Lakers have a playoff formula. The Rockets, yeah.
Oh!
The Rockets is only so-so.
Reverse
As
dunk.
the season's been going along. They've found
That was
something
sick.
with this Adams Şengün just beat the hell out of you double big lineup. Yeah, it might be flawed, their half-court offense. Their shooting is so-so. Their spacing is so-so.
Okay.
They are just freaking good and tough. Their defense is legit, and they are going to
Kept to the 10.
for 7 straight games. And you're going to feel that whether you win that series or not. They can beat any of these teams 2-7, 2-8. Like they could win any series. And they reminded everybody of that last night. And then you still have the Thunder that are like.
I just realized this is probably a little loud.
Ahead of everyone else. So let's start there. 2-game losing streak over the weekend, and that Lakers game. All the eyes of the league were on that game. Let's see how the Lakers match up with this. The new look Lakers, the Luka Lakers match up with the Thunder. What did you take away from the Lakers?
Before I forget, one quick observation. I can't remember, Zach, and I don't know if you have a thought here. I don't think I can remember any year where in either conference you looked with a week to go and said, there are 7 teams that could make the conference finals. Like, I don't think I'd rule out anybody except for maybe, like, I'll downgrade Memphis a little bit, just some volatility there. But the top 7 in the
Kemp barely ever dunks it.
Any 2 of them are in the conference finals.
Sad.
And of course, we expect the Thunder will be there, but Thunder and whoever, it could be anybody. And just given the Thunder's lack of playoff experience, I think people are still kind of waiting to see, like, okay, well, you're 1,000 games ahead of us, but let's see you prove it now.
It's going really well.
But I don't recall, like, this is the extreme.
It's going extremely well in this game. I'm just knocking out the challenge, fam. If you're here, thanks for saying hi. We got the Zach Lowe podcast.
Every single one of those teams, I feel like.
Look, and it seems to, so it sort of catches you off guard because everything has changed so fast. I read those records. These teams in their last 17, 18 games are just rolling through wins.
I don't know.
The Nuggets are 5-9 in their last 14 games. Schroeder just got healthy.
Probably best of 7.
It's been a weird year for them, just one of those years. And they've fallen back to the pack. The Clippers, there's always going to be some lag time with them because Kawhi took a long time to come back. And then there's just sort of residual, like, why would I believe this? Why would I have faith in it? And then the games and the wins and the numbers pile up. You're like, I don't know. Like, the sample size is pretty big now that when they have everybody, they're they have the statistical profile of a legit contending team. And Minnesota, same thing. Both of those teams were 32 and 29. Middling. Now in the West, middling is tough. In the East, middling is the Bulls, who are hot. Great. Good. Congratulations. And they're both 14 and 3 since being 32 and 29. The Bulls got Randall back. He's fit back in. Gobert's playing some of the best basketball he's played in a long time. And Ant is Ant, and they've got the pieces matches for the Pistons thing. And yeah, like 32 and 29, you're 60 games in. You're kind of like, okay, I guess those teams are just what they are. And then you wake up, you're like, wait a second, are they much more than we thought they were? But let's go back to Thunder Lakers. What struck you?
What struck me is that Luka still owns the Thunder. Number one, this has to be the only bigger nightmare for the Thunder than Luka being on the Mavericks with a full complement around him is now Luka's on the Lakers and standing there next to LeBron James. About a month ago, when the Lakers had first gotten off to this hot start and we're still trying to process why, well, they don't have much size and maybe, do they have enough depth and, what is this team now? And there was a coach I was talking to at the time and I'm like, what is the magic of this going right now? And he says, don't overthink it. The Lakers have two of the top 5 players in the NBA. It's as simple as that. And I said, wait, hold on. Did you say 2 of the top 5? LeBron's top 5? Coach said, yeah.
Reeves? Reeves into the top 5? Reeves? I mean, I don't even know does he belong in the most improved player conversation again? I don't. Does Rui? I mean, those two guys have upped their level, and even if the stats don't show it, Rui is a more complete all-around player than he's ever been, and Reeves is. I keep hearing like, he's already averaging 21 almost on this team. He's just a really, really good offensive player.
He is. I mean, and let's be clear. Like, he's obviously benefiting quite a bit, too, from the amount of attention that's paid
Spurs are really
to
struggling
two
here.
superstars he's playing alongside. Like, if you put, Austin Reeves on a team with, 0 stars, is he carrying them to 45 wins tomorrow?
Michael Cage is kind of
Not
fast.
far yet. But he's been phenomenal. Rui's been fantastic. Gabe Vincent, shooting lights out a lot of nights, busting his ass defensively, and giving them, like, one of the concerns I think we all had about them after the trade was, all right, well, Anthony Davis was your defensive anchor. You don't have a lot of size. They're playing small ball a lot. Do they have enough defense on the perimeter to make up for the fact that they don't have a classic rim protector back there? And yet, for the most part, there's been some dips. But for the most part, the defense has been there. And, there's a temptation, I think, with yesterday's game to look at this.
I'll take that.
Lakers go 22 of 40 from 3, right? Season high 22 3-pointers. They hit 20, I think, on 2 other occasions. So
Barrows,
this is an
you gotta
outlier
take that
game
if you're
for them.
open with Barrows.
Their average per
Even
game,
though I get
think
2
they're
off
hitting like,
every time almost.
13 threes or something a game, and they hit 22. That's probably an outlier game, not just literally, but like you're not reproducing
Things
that
getting
every
ugly
night.
here.
And if you were going in a best of 7 series against the Thunder,
Good follow.
counting on that. But it is one of those modern day games where we have to sit there and say, well, sometimes the team that just shoots the 3 better wins it.
Oh,
This is one of those classic cases. The Thunder went 12 of 37 from
Brutal.
3. And then holding Shea to 0 free throw attempts for the first time since December 2021 was the last time he played a game without a single free throw attempt. Notably, though, a couple nights earlier against the Rockets, he was held to 2 free throws. So I don't is Shea downshifting a little bit because they've got such a massive lead? Is he a little tired? Is he saving it for the playoffs? How much do we attribute? Like, obviously, against the Rockets, they've got phenomenal defenses. We were just discussing with them against the Warriors, but I don't know. I'm not sure how much I want to take away from it, other than Luka cooked the shit out of them. And he is still just absolutely devastating when he's going to get a
really
big
squaring
on
up
an
a storm
island,
here. I love to see it.
He can just do whatever he wants.
Love to hear the feistiness.
I'm not going to overreact to it because of the shooting data that you just posited.
He's fired
And
up.
they play again tomorrow night.
That's true. I have a lot of faith in the Thunder defense. Obviously, they're number 1 defense by far in the NBA. You just said big on an island.
Oh, my.
And that was what was notable to me about that game is I thought the Lakers had a really good balance in where they targeted their offense. The game before that, they played the Warriors, and Luka was kind of invisible in that game because the Warriors play Draymond at center a lot, and they switch a lot. They don't have a big guy all the time out there that you can just
Avery Johnson.
a big center that Luka can. That's who he loves to torture the most, whether it's getting switches or getting lob dunks for his pick and roll center. The Warriors don't always play that kind of player, and Luka kind of got lost in the game as the Lakers are hunting Steph Curry and LeBron.
Oh, they'll start making some threes.
10 years. Like, that's just how they play. Against the Thunder, you have Hartenstein, and he just tortured Hartenstein. It's the same movie we've seen over and over again. And they did go at SGA a little bit. SGA is not a weak link defender by any stretch. He just happens to be like the strongest guy.
Oh, I was in the
And I thought that sort of balance of where they directed their offense and how Luka was able to participate more than he did against the Warriors was telling, and would concern me a little bit if I were the Thunder. And again, I'm looking for like actual signs of concern. Another one would be Jason Wallace, Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins. Just too small for LeBron and Luka. Caruso can put up a fight, and he has just incredible hands. But it's got to be Dort and J-Dub on those guys. And I think the Thunder are smart to sort of see if their smaller, handsier guys can bother Luka and LeBron. And again, this is a matchup. We may never see this matchup again after tomorrow night. Like, this may be totally irrelevant to the City and the Lakers playoff prognosis. But they bullied those guys. And the other thing that was notable to me was the Lakers... It reminded me of the Mavericks in the playoffs last year, where they really shrunk the floor on the Thunder. Like, they clogged up the paint, they clogged up Shea's drives. Paint was crowded. Thunder don't have great spacing, especially when they have the two bigs out there, but they have decent spacing. And they did it without really abandoning the Thunder's best three-point shooters. They just are a very smart, rangy defensive team. And you mentioned their lack of size. When people say that, they mean sort of lack of a true center behind Hayes. They have a lot of big players on their team. They have a lot of power forward sized players on their team. They cover space really in really smart ways. They rotate on a string. They don't overcommit one way or undercommit the other way. And they kind of had the Thunder paused a little bit. And not only that, the Chet Hartenstein double big lineup is one of the biggest wild cards in the league. It's not much of a wild card anymore. It's been going on for a while. And the Lakers were like, we're not afraid of that group. We're not afraid to play small against that group. We'll put bigs.
It don't make no sense.
Chet can hurt us down low. We don't think Hartenstein can hurt us down low. And I think that double big group has given Oklahoma City a different ingredient offensively in terms of Hartenstein's short roll, his floater, his passing. I think that's been more important to them offensively than defensively. Even in the Lakers right now, we're not that scared of it. I mean, all that said, I'm not going to overreact to it, but all of that was encouraging me if I'm a Lakers fan, and a little bit troubling to me if I'm a Thunder fan. And you mentioned Vincent. Lakers have a good 9-man rotation. Their starting five is good, and then off the bench it's Vincent, Finney-Smith, Goodwin, who I love. I have a soft spot for Goodwin, and Vanderbilt. And I think one of the underrated...
I think it's pretty boring once you get good at it.
Is one of the benefits of not having a so-so shooting center, traditional center, which AD was for them, much to his chagrin apparently, that is so good that he's got to play 35, 40 minutes a game when it matters. Now Hayes can play 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. It allows them to play Vanderbilt a lot more without compromising their spacing fatally, and Vanderbilt's just been good for them. Like, he's a good defense player. He can guard all kinds of different positions. They're becoming a really interesting team, and that game, yeah, it's a shooting luck game. I said the Thunder won it on shot quality, whatever. It had some, like, that was a playoff formula. It had certain things that if I'm a Thunder coach, I'm going back to the film. I'm like, let me see how that looked.
Yeah, and that's why I think there's plenty to take out of it, especially if you're the Lakers. Maybe less if you're the Thunder. And I think it's weird to say a team that has LeBron and Luka on it, but the Lakers kind of needed this more right now. Like, literally in the standings, they needed it more. And I think just to kind of, like, Luka has nothing to prove, LeBron has nothing to prove. But together, they have something to prove.
Just runs up and throws the lefty hook up.
Completely reconfigured team. And guys like Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent, who at times have looked like really important pickups for the Lakers over the last couple seasons, but have both been banged up. That they're healthy and thriving and giving them a different defensive dimension and tone. is really important. And I think just everything that allows the Lakers to see like the
Lefty
whole
hook
picture of
alert.
who they can be in the postseason. I think all that's really significant for them. And you know, and I'll be honest. I have, from the moment the trade happened, which we still can't quite put our heads around, and maybe we never will. I have been skeptical. Like it looked like a win now move for the Mavericks by their own definition, which made no sense, of course. But it was a for the next 10 years move for the Lakers, and I thought there would be some short-term slippage, perhaps. Like it was short-term. Take a step back. We our defensive anchor is gone. We got to incorporate Luka. He's not healthy when he arrives. We've got a supporting cast that's still kind of in flux. Like, we don't have size. We don't have a center. We traded for Mark Williams. We rescinded the trade for Mark Williams. And I thought, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. This is about the next 10 years. And lo and behold, here they are, you know, sitting in third in the Western Conference and looking very, very potent and very, very ready to make a deep playoff run that, I'll be honest, I was not sure was on the table. And they've made a lot of progress in a lot of places in a very short time.
Well, and just, you know, they're not scared of any of these other teams. The Nuggets are, disarray is too strong of a word, but it's just been one of those years where it just feels like they may not have enough. It
Michael
may
Cage
not all
is
come
fast.
together health-wise,
He just-
performance-wise,
busts. He just busts his way down the court.
Clippers will see. Warriors, like, they're hot. You know, they beat the Lakers over the weekend. These are all good
Yeah,
teams.
no shit,
The Lakers
Grip.
aren't scared of any
Oh,
of them.
he passes out of it.
Luka to your team is really good. I don't even want to talk about. I don't want to do the trade. I will just say that maybe just Patrick Dumont should just shut it down in the media for a while. Just shut it down. Just don't make any more comments. It's not.
What up, Grip? I already kind of said everything to say about this game, so I'm just listening to Zach Lowe. I just want to compete the challenge. I got to win this series versus the Spurs.
Yeah. So that's freaking huge. Our buddy Mark Stein is like in the midst of like a 17-part series or something, reviewing how we got here. It's
We're
phenomenal.
trying to get him on the Zach Lowe show on Thursday to recap what it's going to be like to be in the building
Crush Fest.
in Dallas on Wednesday night.
I can't even imagine. That's going to be a weird one, right? Just because, like, I was there for LeBron back to Cleveland the first time after he left for Miami, but that was LeBron left. He abandoned you, and so it was like the nastiest, just most intense
Wild.
atmosphere I've ever been in terms of just everybody in the whole building having it out for one guy, and it got really, really ugly at times. But this won't be that because Luka didn't leave them. He didn't abandon them. Like the Mavs fans are still just pissed off at Nico Harrison and Patrick Dumont. So I assume it's going to be mostly a love fest, but a really awkward, kind of like crappy feeling one, right? Like I don't know what to expect from that game. I will never say that anybody should shut it down on the interviews part of it because as a member of the media, by all means, keep saying stuff. Right? It's great for us, and I appreciate the candor. Even if it makes you look like a complete buffoon.
It hasn't been
Do
great.
that too.
Messaging.
It's not great.
Yeah, and obviously what has unfolded in Dallas with all the injuries, particularly Kyrie's injury, is an absolute worst case scenario. It's been interesting to watch AD play a lot of 4.
Nice.
He's playing a lot of 5-2s, playing a little bit of both because Lively and Gafford have been in and out and on minutes restrictions. You can see it sometimes, you know, like AD and Lively hooked up on some really nice passing sequences the other day, and the size and the rebounding and the
I'm
athleticism
killing him.
are just
I'm gonna murder him.
off the charts. And then there are games where it's like, yeah, he's gonna have to take a lot of jump shots. Also, a lot from the left wing because he's a 4 and the lane is clogged. And is that really what I want Anthony Davis doing all of the time?
Oh,
I wish we could see
Oh.
the team. Right? I think it's an
Sure.
interesting team with
Go
Kyrie.
bus.
We're just not gonna be able to see it. And
oh my God.
but this is.
Oh my God.
Who knows if we're going to be able to see it next year? You never know with ACL injuries. Kyrie's at the very least going to miss a huge chunk of next season, and this is.
And he's just going to take it all away.
Even if you think that this trade helped your short-term championship equity, which I would
Benjamin.
because you just made
Just
the
dominating.
finals. You were
Just
in
dominating.
the finals, and you were awesome in this regular season when you had everybody healthy. When Luka and Kyrie and they're the same group that got them to the finals last year were healthy. But even if you posit the Mavericks were right about their short-term championship equity. Trading up in age by 5 or 6 years or whatever it is makes you uniquely vulnerable to one injury, and it's like the Nuggets were able to ride out
Go
2
bust.
seasons basically of Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. going out or in and out, and just sort of their team was in purgatory for 2 years, and they were young enough that they were like, you know, we should ride this out. It's incredible and exhausted in these playoff series. And they came back and they won a championship. The Mavericks don't have that. Anyway, I can't.
Yeah.
Let's stop.
You just went right through everybody. That's fine. Cool.
We will be
Cool
talking
possession,
about this
bro.
for years. The rest of our careers, the rest of our lives, we will still be trying to unpack this puzzle. It'll never make sense.
I don't have any other takeaways from Oklahoma City Lakers. It's a bad game for the Thunder.
It's fine.
Again, I cannot stress this enough. The Thunder and the Cavaliers have 0 to play for. There's a very natural decline in intensity as we get to this point of the season where
Michael Cage is
Some of the Thunder players,
menace.
some of the Thunder players said it out right after the game yesterday. I saw some quotes in the Oklahoman to my buddy Joel Ramsey, where they were saying, and Shea said it, and I think maybe Jalen Williams said it too. Like, hate to say it, but we've got everything locked up. They're playing out the string. So, who knows? Like, the rematch tomorrow night may not even, will everybody play? And how much are these teams showing each other, with days to go? So, not too much.
The Houston loss, I don't know if you saw that. The Houston-Oklahoma City game on Friday was almost more interesting to me because Houston just beat the hell out of them. Like, Şengün, they started with Chet on Şengün, and Şengün just feasted on Chet. And they switched the matchup to put Hartenstein on Şengün, which they did not want to do initially. And offensive rebounding, they had their way.
Stop.
And always the key against the Thunder, if you can win or be equal in turnovers, limit their steals, you have a chance against them. And that's what the Rockets did. That was almost a more interesting game to me. The Lakers lost the turnover battle, but won handily anyway because they shot the hell out of it. Look, my finals prediction from day one, go on X and see it, even though I had no job at the time, was Celtics over Thunder. It was the chalk pick. I almost went Denver, and I was just hearing too much bad stuff from Denver. Like, a lot's got to go right for you to make the finals. So I went Celtics over Thunder. I'm sticking with that. That's still my finals pick. I don't know if you made a finals. I don't know if they make you make predictions or what.
We did. Yeah, no, we did. We did the whole staff picks thing back in October, and I went Thunder over Celtics on the premise that, the obvious for why the two teams would be there, but why Thunder winning. I looked at it in the preseason and said the Celtics are going to have a much tougher road this time. There's the championship hangover possibility. Just it's hard to go back-to-back seasons. It's a ton of games. It's a lot of stress on the body. But on top of that, the East was going to be better this season, right? I didn't see this coming from the Cavaliers. And I thought
Philly really loaded up in the offseason.
I mean, yes. I mean, my rationale was the Celtics are going to have to go through some combination of Knicks, Philly, Milwaukee, Cleveland, whatever. I probably didn't even put Cleveland in that conversation. Apologies, Cleveland. None of us saw this coming, and
I did. I didn't see this coming, but I was telling people Cleveland's could be really good.
Yeah, but at this level, and I don't think we saw even the most skeptical or the most PTSD stricken Sixer fans would not have predicted this is how the Sixer season was going to go. So I thought the Celtics might be more beat up, and so I went, all right, really deep team, younger legs, spry athletic Thunder team over Celtics. So that was my prediction back in October, but predictions are stupid. So
well, congrats to the Sixers. They have risen to 5th in the lottery standings, which is big for them with their top 6 protected pick going
huge.
Out
Yay, tanking.
Philadelphia. Lottery's going to be interesting. Lottery's going to be heavy drama in the draft lottery. Let's do some awards talk.
Sure.
Shoot it.
Start with the big kahuna. This is not a hot take, I don't think. I still haven't decided who I would vote for MVP. I just, how am I supposed to even decide? Every time you're like, well, SGA's team is 15 games up in the standings. He's incredible, blah, blah. It's like, oh, what did Jokic have 37, 15, and 11 or whatever? And whoever is losing.
Murder.
And it's hard to vote. If they're in the play-in, it's going to be hard for people to get there, and SGA is probably going to win it anyway. But I I've been leaning SGA because I just think statistically, Jokic's dossier is a little bit better, but it's pretty close, and some of the advanced metrics actually favor Shea. But both of them are historically incredible statistical seasons. SGA is a better defensive player. Jokic is a better offensive player. And just sort of tie goes to the guy whose team is whatever, 64 and whatever they are right now.
This could be an interesting one. I don't know who I would vote for.
Still holds some logic to me, but I just every Jokic, every day, I just keep coming back to who's just better, and I just think Jokic is better and impacts every single possession a teensy bit more heavily on offense than SGA does. But defensively, this has not been a good Jokic year defensively. It's not been a good Denver year defensively, and SGA does more than his parts. Now, there was some, I can't remember which Thunder game I was watching, where someone was trying to make it all defense case for Shea. I don't see that because he just doesn't have to guard the best players in their team, and the Thunder have like 9 other candidates. But I would take this to the wire if I had a ballot.
Just streaming here.
I do have a ballot.
Heel on Napper. My mom took off. Your mom's coming. Just rotating these hoes. I'm streaming, but it's kind of a weird one. Alright. Just in case anybody's watching. This is Bulls vs. Blazers on Super Nintendo. And it's a game that was very, very cool when it came out. I got it here as the number 80 on my Super Nintendo countdown, and I still think that was a decent. It still was definitely a top 100 game as far as when I played it, thinking it was cool. I still maintain that if I was playing a person, it would be cool. But I just got really good versus the computer. I'm doing trick shit with Sean Kemp, throwing to myself off the backboard. So it's a little boring just to beat the living piss out of the computer and play this slow-ass game. It just does not hold up compared to games that came after it. Even EA games that came after it. So it is what it is. But the challenge is the challenge. So we got to complete the challenge because that's what we're doing here. We're giving these all a college try. The RPGs, there's going to be some long challenges. We're going to play it out. We're going to play it out. Even though we've already seen what happens, the challenge is a big part of what we're doing here. Let's go with the small lineup. Stick it to the 8-man or the 9-man rotation. Oh, Pierce misses the lay-in. What? I think I'm gonna start just throwing up threes. I bet I could still win by just shooting only threes the rest of the game, even though they almost never go in. Switch into threes only mode. Give me a screen. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, hesitation. That's like the best move in basketball. Just standing under the hoop and doing nothing. They'll never expect it. Three. Eddie Johnson. Very dangerous shooter. Just rotate some guys here. Keep everybody fresh if we can. Give me a screen. Tucker with the foul. Oh, Tucker's still in the league. All right. We're just putting it up now. We're in the voice mode. Just showing you how big a brick fest shooting threes is on this game. It's a brick fest. Boogie, boogie, boogie. Seriously? Ain't no foul. Ain't no foul. Get out of here with that. That ain't no foul. That ain't no foul. Oh. Okay, didn't want to take the lane.
Shoot it!
Get out of here. Get out of here. No. How did I mistime that? Oh my god. Pistons doing some work. Going back to my pod.
Ballot, and among the caveats I'll throw out there as we record this on a Monday with a week to go, I think the ballots will be due like exactly a week from today. The 65 game rule throws a wrench into things because what happens is the NBA can't even finalize the ballots, all the drop down menus for us to fill out until we know who actually qualified, and some of this will come down to the last game potentially because of 20-minute subsections and all this other bullshit. Like, I hate the 65 game rules. It's driving me crazy. Like, I get the intent behind it. I'm fine with the intent behind it, but it wreaks havoc for us on some level.
I don't mind it, except I would like it to not apply the third team All NBA and most improved player. And I don't know, does it apply to all rookie? I mean, all rookie is just...
No, I don't think it applies to all rookies.
It's not going great for the all rookie teams.
All rookies always just a mess anyway. But no, I mean, my issue with it is just that if Kevin Durant gets to 64 games but not 65, and like the Suns are in like a tailspin, so it's hard to make the case for Durant right now if you want to factor in wins.
By the way, to be clear, he's at 62 right now, and he's still out with an ankle injury.
And still out. So he's cutting it close. I think Jalen Brunson's still on the cusp. He just came back, so he's probably going to make it
with enough games to go that he can make it.
Yeah, unless they hold him out a game for some reason, which I think you probably don't do when you're cognizant of the 65 game rule, right? You're going to make sure that he qualifies. But I don't like how close it comes because if a guy that you thought was absolutely going to be in high consideration or certainly like all NBA third team or whatever, and he falls one game short, and now you have to give it to the guy who played 66 games who had a worse season than the guy who had 60.
The Julius Randle
Switch it up.
Memorial All NBA spot. That's what we should call that. I mean, that's what it is.
So, first caveat is that we don't know who's going to qualify for sure. Second caveat is this is a first draft for me, right? So you told me we were going to do some
Just tell
awards.
me who your MVP is.
I think it's SGA. Bontemps hit us with the last of his polls a week ago. I had SGA there. I think I had Shea there the previous time too. As you know, because you and I have discussed this on previous pods going back years now, which is hard to believe. But I think going all the way back to the year that Westbrook won it, I think you went Kawhi that year, I went Harden that year, and we all had a conversation about how much do the wins matter. I am, if you want to call it a traditionalist on this, if you want to say I'm a prisoner of the past or whatever, fine. I think the precedent matters. Like, to me, yes, we get frustrated in our conversations, debates over these awards because there's no definition. We don't know what it means. It's the eye of the beholder, and like, oh, this is so frustrating. Is it most outstanding? Is it most this? Is it most that? To me, the guideline for how we know what the MVP is or what the Defensive Player of the Year is or any of these is that we have history as a guide. And I think the consensus of decades gives you some semblance of a reasonable framework. And that framework for most of the last 40 years for MVP has been 50-plus win team, top 2, top 3 in the conference. And then we had an outlier, Westbrook. Then we had another outlier, Jokic, a couple years back. And those are fine. Like, I'm not sitting here in judgment of those. I dissented on both of those on my ballot. But I do think the wins matter. And it's not just a purely individual award. Historically, it just isn't. And if you want to make it that, you, Zach Lowe, you, any other people out there, voters, non-voters, fans, media, it's fine. It is eye of the beholder. And if you want it to be most outstanding player, Jokic, and you just made the case, Zach, Jokic is fucking awesome, and as great as Shea is he as great as Jokic overall?
Beck is
Probably
dropping
not.
bombs.
His team has won, not just more, but a lot more. And I think that having the MVP come from a team that's clearly in contention for the title matters to me. And I think to the extent that MVP, that the V matters, the value of it, again, eye of the beholder. How do people define value? I think value is that you had an outstanding individual season for an outstanding team. The Nuggets have been a very, very good team. They are at the moment not quite outstanding. They might not make it to 50 wins. And again, I don't mean to be rigid
might
about
not make it into the top 6.
They might not make it to the top 6. I don't want to be rigid about it, but if people are going to come back at me, and by the way, if you want to debate me on any of this or hit me with feedback, hit me only on Blue Sky. I'm not on the other platform anymore. If you want to say that the wins are being overstated by me or anyone else, then consider the possibility that the Nuggets fall in the play-in. Do you still want to make Jokic your MVP if he's in a play-in? And if you pause on that, then you've just acknowledged the point that I've been making for years, which is the wins matter, and the only debate we really have is how much they matter. Is 47 okay? Is 50 okay? Is the 6th seed okay? Or do you need to make it to the 3rd seed? So it matters to everybody. And it's just a matter of where you want to draw the line in an individual season. And if we want to play the stats game and go on StatHead and configure to see if this is a historic season, like Shea is having one of the great all-time scoring seasons.
Both of them are worthy MVP.
They're both worthy.
I will say, like, I'm not going to object to anyone who picks Jokic or SGA. Like, they're both valid arguments. And they're the on-off numbers, which has been the Jokic stat for so long. The Thunder, it's unclear if they would have a viable offense and a really good elite, like, we can win a playoff series level without SGA. Like, he is the offense. And so the on-off stuff doesn't favor either one of them. They both have crazy on-off splits. And then, like, you can dismiss it if you want. That's fine.
Still.
Jokic is a better passer, and I do think games like yesterday, Thunder-Lakers do raise the question of, like, is there enough collective sort of offensive ingenuity in the half court for the Thunder when it really gets down to it? Their half court offensive numbers are outstanding. You would say yes. Maybe. We'll see. I remember last year
playing him home now.
Finished the season on such a roll that I felt like Dallas fans were owed an explanation. Why is the MVP Jokic over Luka? Why was I leading Jokic? And I just kept coming back to size. The ability to do all of that and be that big just gives him access to more areas of the court, easier shots. To be that huge in this creative a passer, a ball handler, a shooter, it just unlocks infinite possibilities for the Nuggets offense before you even get to the fact that he's going to be in the conversation for the greatest passer in the history of basketball. All that said, the defense has been bad for Denver this year. This is not a good year for Jokic. So I don't know what I would do if I were a voter. I respect either case. I would just be... The one thing I will say is, with apologies to our boss, Giannis is 3rd for me, and I don't think there can be any question about that. The 20 assist game the other night, he's putting up double-digit assists regularly now with Dame out. As great
Giannis
as Jason
had 20
Tatum
assists?
is, I can't get there with him as 3rd. an MVP over Giannis?
I'm still toggling between those two, admittedly. And I will just a couple things, just pet peeves on the MVP discussion. I don't want to hear, if Shea wins it, don't want to hear anybody telling me that this is voter fatigue. This has nothing to do with voter fatigue. That's insulting to the season that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's having. It's certainly insulting to the voters. And there's a whole other rant about the history of that phrasing and everything and that point that I don't want to go into.
Right back to me.
This won't be voter fatigue. Shea's
I can't go diagonal like that.
He's
The
having an
computer is
incredible
cheating.
season for a team that's having an incredible season, and they're far and away the best team in
Yeah,
the Western Conference. So there's not that. The other thing, the on-off stuff you mentioned, just a real quick point that I always make with this one is just that if we get a little too caught up in the on-off, what happens is it elevates a guy with a shittier supporting cast and a shittier bench, and it punishes the guy who has the better supporting cast and a better bench. And if you say, well, that's not fair to the player's done everything they could. Yeah, again, that's why MVP is never truly, solely, purely an individual award. There is a team element to it, and it is like, if I hate to put this out there as this reductive definition, but like, I think the platonic ideal would be the best player on best team definition, right? If you could do that every year, like, you want it to be a guy who's awesome and his team is really great too. That's the platonic ideal. So I think, like, we don't get there every year, because a lot of seasons there's a guy who had an incredible season on only a very good team, or somebody who was only very good on a great team. Shea's checking both boxes for his case. If we were gonna be reductive, which maybe I'm being, but anyway.
Let's fly through with 4, 5, 3, whatever games left. Tentative all NBA teams.
Very.
Tentative.
Very.
I will start. First team, Jokic, SGA, Giannis, Tatum, I think are going to be close to unanimous.
Yes.
It's the 5th spot that I've been toggling back and forth between. It's going to go to one of Mitchell, Curry, or Anthony Edwards.
Are you going position? Are you still going position?
No. Okay. The rules are the rules. I follow the rules. Okay. I think Curry is the best player of those three that has had the best. Curry Mitchell is very close statistically.
Yeah.
And the minutes is very persuasive with Ant. The fact that he plays every game, he's played like 500 more minutes than Curry or something like that. That's interesting. I would pencil in Mitchell right now. Just let me default to the team that's been one of the stories of the season. So let's just pencil in Mitchell for first team. And I'll do my second team and then I'll stop. Okay. My second team would then be, if that's where I go, Edwards, Curry, Evan Mobley, LeBron James, and this might surprise some people. I think a late surge combined with some injuries to other players and some slides down the standings for Memphis in particular. I think Tyrese Halliburton would be my 5th guy on second team All-NBA. He's like, first of all, the statistics, advanced and otherwise, just scream out for him.
Yeah.
I know he got off to a slow start the first 6 weeks. It was like, what's wrong with Tyrese Halliburton? He's still in there a lot. He has been lights out for quite a while now, and the Pacers are just really, really good. I think that's where I would lean. Hit me with your tentative first 2.
I think we overlapped on 8 of 10. So my tentative first 5, again, the locks are Shea, Jokic, Tatum, and Giannis. My 5th, also penciled in Donovan Mitchell. And I think, again, like, All-NBA, less so than MVP. Like, the wins matter, but it's not as persuasive. MVP, like, I think it's intrinsic to the award. All-NBA, it is more individual. And agreed. And I think that that's part of why we can make the case for potentially Curry over Mitchell for that 5th spot. By the way, I also...
I'm not susceptible to the game, but, we'll see how the season goes.
We'll see, yeah. I mean, Steph is the most efficient of the high-scoring guards by far, still, at age 37.
He's 37.
And I'm not saying waiting for the age. I'm just saying he's still absolutely incredible.
Just to be clear, 24 points, 6 assists, 45% overall, 39.7%. I'm giving him 40% on 11 threes a game. And per 36 minutes, he's had 27 points a game. So everyone, that's the same as Mitchell, because Mitchell has obviously sacrificed. He doesn't play a lot of. There's been fourth quarters where they haven't.
Oh my gosh, I got one more game after this.
Game stuff is lower than his per minute stuff, but Steph matches it. And look, I don't need to tell anybody that 40% on 11 threes combined with his off-ball movement, he remains a singular offensive force, the likes of which there has never been, both in terms of impact and style. It's just playing them is just a different animal than playing it it's all
Yep. So with Mitchell Penton on the first team, and by the way, I'm a creature of habit. In part just because it was easier to organize my thoughts, Zach. I still went 2 guards, and I didn't go 2 forwards and a center. I went 2 guards, 3 front court for each of these.
With the 3.
And then I gave myself room, and I'm giving myself room for the next week as I keep playing with this, to then scrap that if I feel like somebody is just clearly better than somebody in another position. But so that's the first team. Second team, Curry, Ant Edwards, Mobley. So we overlap on those 3.
Just let him have it. No fouls. No fouls.
I've got Jaren Jackson Jr. and Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr.'s had an outstanding season, and in a year where Ja has played, like half the games, less, and they don't really have a lot of places to go for consistent offense, especially in the half court. His defensive presence, all of it combined. And then Karl Anthony Towns, I think there have been times this season where it's been hard to kind of like parse who's been the more important Nick. And that's no disrespect to Brunson, but especially with Brunson having missed a month.
Go Sonics. Do I need to win one more, or is that it?
Kind of was their stabilizing force. So that's where I am.
Let's find out. I don't know if these are best of 5 or best of 7. Let's find out. Got to play one more. All right. Let's do it. Let's get it done. See what's going on around the league. Warriors making it interesting. Boston. Detroit. 3-0. All right. Could have an old school Pistons Celtics final. That would be pretty wild. All right. Let's get this done. Let's see how hard I can smoke him. That's what we're going to do here. Traveling is tough. That's a tough way to start if you're going for the biggest smoke job possible. That's not what we're going for. It's not a good look. All of a sudden, just foul palooza over here. Let's tighten it up. Go bus to start this one, fam. Struggle. What is going on here? Oh my god. What is happening? We are just in a struggle zone here. Here we go. We're going to try to win this game. This is going to be for the challenge. Got to get it. We're doing all the challenge. I put a challenge out there. Even if it's kind of whack, we're going to finish it, buddy boys. Believe that. They got the full court press going. Let's play realistic. EJ with the jumper from the elbow. Bullshit. they're just playing full court defense here. Peyton with the jam. I'll take that. Come on, outrun him. Get that board. There we go. There we go. There we go. One right by fools. Oh, there it is. There's the beef. Response from the Admiral. And done. Ricky Pierce. Ooh. Ooh. Let's get the subs in. McKee likes to jam. For some reason, Kemp cannot execute that dunk. He does have a special move, which is nice, but... Okay. Doing. Good contest from McKee there. Okay, he's flying. He missed it. Reverse dunk. Okay. Okay. David Robson showed off. Wow. Same thing happened. Bizarre. Good dunk on, fool. Eric McKee is a problem. He's a problem, folks. Good look, but Barros unable to convert. Robinson kind of came to play a little bit here. I didn't get to shoot it. I didn't get to shoot it. Shoot it. Computer known to hang around in the first quarter. But it's usually just the first quarter. Not a good look. That was Cage. Nope, that was EJ. Good look. Damn. Throw down. Throw down alert. What the? Very rare to see a guy with the basketball in that position. I thought I passed it. Stolen. Benjamin. With a dunk. Stolen. Up fake. Into the lane. A lay-in. Disappointing for Kemp. Disappointing. The crowd did not want to see Kemp throw lay-ins. Biff. Thought I had the lay-in there, but I did not. Stifling D. Strickland hasn't done much this series, despite being pretty elite. I have a vague memory of San Antonio being the first team I ever played with on this game. Could be 100% wrong about that, but... Okay. Dunk. McKee. McKee is a dunk meister. McKee ahead of the pack. You can't catch him. He's a beast. Oh boy. Oh, this is happening. Throw down. Michael Cage. Beast mode. Wild contest from Cage. Sonic's cruising. Cage just with elite speed gets right past the defender. Got stuck in mud. Look at him. Oh, stuffs it up against McKee. Somehow, some way. Ricky Pierce shows you the speed. Remix. In my face. Up fake. See you later. To the 10. Get dunked on. Too easy over here. Brick. Oof. Traveling. Tough. Tough. Sending him to the line is tough. Not a good look.
Shoot it!
Brick. Brick. All right. Well, we're almost there. Almost to the finish line. Whew, we can do it. We can do it. Ooh. Not a shooting foul. Not a shooting foul. No, I'm fading. This game is, once you get good at it, it's kind of not that exciting. Have some of that. Trying to make sure I get the dub here. See, Spurs can get feisty on you. CPU might have some tricks up their sleeve to fend off eliminations, so we don't really want to dick around. We want to throw down. That's what we want to do. We want to throw down. GP with the steal and the take. Just doing it all. This is game 4. I'm up 3-0. This is the decider. If I win. For the challenge. Try to stick by these challenges. If I put a challenge out there, I don't want to alter it too cheese dickily just because of some issue with it. I don't want to get accused of ergonomics. And I think this sports ones, if you can do something cool like a playoffs, you should take advantage of that because that's pretty exciting, right? Camp like NHL '93, that was dope. Trying to go for that challenge, right? Even though we ended up falling on our face, it was still pretty cool. Let's just try a little perimeter J. Oh. Stolen. Take. Yeah, who knows? Like, you guys might have fun trying this because you guys might not be as good. I don't know. Like, it's kind of... I did play this a lot back in the day. So I kind of know the tricks. You guys might not figure them out. I mean, if you watch me, you might figure them out pretty damn easy, but... could take you a while. I don't know. Might actually be fun to try these games.
Shoot it!
Yeah, well, it's very slow. It's very slow. Especially if you're aware that NBA Live 95 exists. Then it's extremely slow. Oh, and one. it was pretty smooth for the day. There wasn't that many dope options. There was 0 dope options. It's my first free throw in about a zillion tries. Get in there. Oh. Be pretty fun to play. I think it'd be fun. This would be a decent game to play against the guy. So we got to factor that in. Just because I'm dominating the computer doesn't mean that's the only thing you can do with this game. First game me and Darren played. First of many that me and Darren went head-to-head with. We played all the good sports games. Played them just many times over. We multiple seasons of Tecmo Super Bowl. All of them, too. Super Nintendo versions as well. NES one was the one we kept going back to, but we liked trying all the different ones. And we would do, after we didn't play these games that much, but we did play them. We were into Tecmo NBA a little bit more. So that is the one, I think, biggest criticism against this game is that Tecmo NBA for the NES did exist when this game came out. And that is a much better game. But this one has the players that look different. And the actual gameplay is more like basketball. And the jams are very satisfying. This game is super realistic for the time. I mean, even for any time, really. It still looks and plays very similar to how basketball is played. Except for the part where you can't make a shot like that.
Shoot it!
Oh, extra pass. Just a ridiculous amount of extra passing from San Antonio there. All right, one more period for this challenge. Then we maybe retire this game forever. I don't know. Let's put our best foot forward here. Put Peyton and Pierce out there. Put all the gangsters out there. Let's shoot a 3 with Michael Pierce. Because it's dope. Ugh. Okay, Peyton to the 10. Three. Nope. Bad boards. Swish. 3:30 to go. Come on, let's get focused. Let's end this with a flourish. Sonics. Substitution. Getting a little warm in here. Not gonna waste any time. I'm not gonna pause it. Oh boy. Oh. Oh, then he misses. Struggle bus. San Antonio going out in the meekest way fashion, or meekest way possible. Oh, there's a dunk. McMillan with the steal. Oh, throw down. Eddie Johnson. Nope. Nope. It's a big fat nope, son. What do we got going here? Jumble sauce. Green with the foul. Manages to avoid the offensive foul. That was a big factor in NBA Showdown. So that's the other thing. NBA Showdown kind of blows this out of the water too. But NBA Showdown is such a carbon copy of this game that I actually put this ahead of it because I just felt like NBA Showdown was basically like, hey, what if we just did Bulls versus Blazers except made it a little bit faster and also had all the teams. Just wasn't. It wasn't. They could have improved it a lot more. Case in point, NBA Live. Also, this game barely even improves. This game maybe doesn't deserve all the credit that I gave it because there was the Sega game, Celtics versus Lakers, and they even had Bulls versus Lakers. So maybe this is a little overrated. 40 seconds left of this debacle. This is going to be a borderline top 100 game for the re-rack. Might drop 20 spots or more. I still think it deserves a lot of respect though. And if you didn't have a Sega Genesis, then this was your first time you got to play an NBA game like this. So, honestly, the game might not be perfect, but the people who made it really, really did have a lot of love for the NBA. And they really, really did want to make the best basketball game possible.
Shoot it!
Huh? Oh my God, what a... Oh, they got it. All right. Let's put it up, baby. We did it. Listen, man, we complete these challenges. Boom, baby. Challenge defeated. 76-49. Sonics move on. They will play the Phoenix Suns for the right to go to the NBA Finals, just like the 1993 playoffs. The rosters are from the year before, but this game came out during that season that the Sonics did make the Western Conference Finals versus Phoenix. Meanwhile, look at the the Heat. The Heat were down 0-3 and came back to beat the Pistons. What a debacle. Love it. Oh man, this takes me back to good times. This is good vibes. We're gonna say, who knows? We might finish this someday. Save it up. Unlikely though, just because it's brutal to go back to this game when there are so many better basketball options that are out there. But I still maintain this game does not suck at all. It's a borderline top 100 game. 80 was a little. That's definitely the mark to beat for most egregious overrank so far. There are a couple candidates remaining though that I might have overrated more than this. Definitely. Who knows? I didn't do like a ton of research before I dropped the top 100, so it's all about actually playing the games, and then the re-rack. That's the official ranking. So we'll see how that goes. See how you guys feel about that when I drop that on your asses. Okay, we got this out of the way, which means probably going to do number 79 a little later on this week. Super Nintendo, let's keep playing these games. These games are awesome. All right, thanks again for watching.